From Washington, this is VOA News. I'm Jonathan Smith reporting. The United States ambassador to the United Nations, Nikki Haley, had strong words for North Korea Monday at an emergency meeting of the United Nations Security Council.
The United States will look at every country that does business with North Korea as a country that is giving aid to their reckless and dangerous nuclear intentions. And what we do on North Korea will have a real impact on how other outlaw nations who seek nuclear weapons choose to conduct themselves in the future. The stakes could not be higher. The urgency is now.
Haley said North Korean leader Kim Jong-Un is, quote, begging for war, with his actions including his recent largest nuclear test to date. She said the U.S. doesn't want war, but our patience is not unlimited. President Trump and his counterpart in Seoul on Monday agreed to lift payload restrictions on South Korean missiles and push for even stronger United Nations sanctions against North Korea. The South Korean President Moon Jae-in also has asked the UN to consider blocking oil shipments to the north. White House officials did not mention oil sanctions against North Korea, but they said President Trump and Moon broadly agreed on all major points in their 40-minute-long telephone call on Monday, a day after North Korea triggered a global storm of protest by detonating a nuclear warhead underground that it said was a hydrogen bomb. A White House statement said both leaders underscored the grave threat that North Korea's latest provocation poses to the entire world. This is VOA News. Gunmen in southwestern Pakistan ambushed the security forces convoy Monday, killing at least 3 soldiers and injuring 3 others. The convoy of the paramilitary Frontier Corps was returning from a counterinsurgency operation when it was attacked in the remote Panjshir district of Baluchistan province. There has been no claim of responsibility for the deadly assault. UN independent experts are calling for an international investigation into possible crimes against humanity committed since April 2015, by supporters of the government in Burundi. Lisa Schlein reports for VOA from Geneva on the findings of a report by the UN Commission of Inquiry on Burundi.
The report documents serious violations of human rights in Burundi, including murder, rape, arbitrary arrest and detention, enforced disappearances, torture, and persecution. Commission of Inquiry President Fatsa Ugergus tells VOA these violations stretch back to April 2015, when the crisis erupted, and are continuing today.
We have reasonable ground to believe that some crimes against humanity have been perpetrated in Burundi, on those crimes, on the situation prevailing in Burundi.
The crisis erupted when President Pierre Nkurunziza announced plans to run for a 3rd term. Lisa Schlein for VOA News, Geneva.
Kenya's Electoral Commission says a new presidential election will take place on October 17th. The commission set the date to comply with an order from Kenya's Supreme Court, which nullified the results of last month's election because of what it called irregularities in the vote count. It ordered a new election to be held within 60 days. Monday's statement from the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission says incumbent President Uhuru Kenyatta, opposition leader Raila Odinga, and their running mates will be the only ones on the ballot in next month's vote. And the White House is expected to announce a decision, about deferred action for childhood arrivals on Tuesday. Early media reports indicate the president will announce the end of the program, which has shielded hundreds of thousands of young undocumented immigrants from deportation for the last 5 years. He will reportedly give a 6-month delay meant to give Congress time to address the issue. You can read more about these and other developing and late-breaking stories from around the world around the clock at voanews.com and on the VOA News mobile app. From the world headquarters of the Voice of America in Washington, I'm Jonathan Smith reporting.
That's the latest world news from VOA.